Hello, my name is Yuli, and I'm here to help with this problem. All right, so let's get to it. So we have two objectives: to find x in terms of d, that being the distance, and b, to show that will not be a third collision between particles A and B. And there will be numerous collisions throughout this problem. All right, so first collision. All right, so this is the first collision, and as the problem has laid out, there is the distance of d from this collision to this wall, right? And after this collision, they're both moving towards this wall at different speeds. V, particle A at a speed of u, and particle B at a speed of v. So it's going to be going a little bit faster, and it's going to actually hit the wall, as you'll see in a moment. And then the second collision, right, will be right here. Will be a distance of x, and we're asked to find x, right? So to do that, first we need to find the velocity at which this particle B actually has hit the wall after, so it's rebound speed. So as you see here, the coefficient of restitution, which is just of the ratio of final velocities over initial velocities of interacting bodies, so of two interacting bodies that collide, so in this case, particle B and the wall. As we do that, we go through the math, yada, yada, yada. We get that it's negative 4/5 u, and it's this velocity is negative because this is in reference to the direction it's been moving now, so it's going to the left, as we established that going to the right is positive. Now we're going to have to take the time b. It moved the distance of d to the wall. So when we find t, and I trust me that this is necessary to find the overall distance, we find that its time it takes is 5/4 du. This being the units that were given, right? And so we need to find the rebound force, and we need this because this rebound force is going to be important to the second portion. So as we find a rebound force, we're using momentum is equivalent to impulse, this equation. We find the rebound force B, and now we have to find this time it's taken for A to collide with B. And this is important because, as you'll see, as we do the math, we find that T is the TA, so the time it's taken to hit the ball, is 25/48, right? And see that the distance of A has traveled since the first collision. So this first collision, right, is now it's VA is equal to x over t, and we find a distance of 25/48 d. And this is important because this ball has started the distance away d from the wall, so it has been continually moving. So when we needed to find its distance, its distance subtracted from the total distance of d, which would end up giving us that distance of x from which b has traveled, has rebounded from the wall to be 23/48 d. Right? And this makes sense. As you can read here, from the wall is d, and I'll refer to sometimes as balls or particles. But as you can see, yes, the distance is 23/48 d. Right? Now the second part is that now we're given a different kind of coefficients of restitution, and this is between the particles themselves, and we need to show that there will not be a third collision. Right? So we do that. So we have CR of formula for the particles of the final velocities of the particles over the initial velocities of the particles. The ratio is equal to a third. We'll do the math, but we don't know the final and velocities after this next impact, but we can find out using the conservation of momentum. And as we do that, we have P initial, right? And we know that, so as we find P initial, we get this value right here. And then we have the final momentum. And the final momentum is this. So we're just going to do a little bit of algebra and plug in for the final velocity of B. Plug this into here, right? And as we do that, it's a lot of different. It's just a bunch of algebra, and we find the velocity for final velocity for A and the final velocity for B. And so here we see a little different velocities throughout. So this is the initial velocities at the very beginning for both. These are final velocities. So this is its second impact. So A has occurred 2 impacts, but B will have incurred at least 5 impacts, to see how its speed has progressed and has slowed down. And as we do that, we see that by using the coefficient constitution for when the ball hits the wall for a second time. So when particle B has hit the wall for a second time, its speed will have slowed down even more. Okay, its speed would have slowed down to 2/25 the velocity u, right? While A has an initial speed of 11/25. Right. So pretty much what this states is that particle A will be moving in the left direction where there's no wall has been stated to be at, and it will have accumulated time in that direction, while particle B has to change directions again at a slower speed and will never catch up. So you can see here, right, they're both going to the left as is showed by the negative. And over here, we see that particle, where is it right now? Particle A and particle B right here will have gone in the same direction after its second collision with the wall to rebound, but it's never going to catch up. For one, A is just faster in general, and two, there's no chance of A rebounding to hit anything to go back. It's only going to continue going to the left indefinitely, pretty much. So yeah. So there you go.